Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Woo Curious podcast. Your map to the mystical, your key to the sacred, and your guide back home to yourself. I'm Eileen, a writer, a spiritual coach, energy healer, and slow living witch. This podcast is your invitation to explore a world where the mundane and the sacred intertwine. It's a haven for those ready to take the first steps into the realms of magic and mystery, providing a safe space for you to embark on your own enchanted journey towards healing and self-discovery. Here, I'll unveil the whispers of the mystical, the rituals often hidden in plain sight, and I'll engage in sacred conversation intended to stir your soul and lead you back into your power. I'm all about demystifying woo and witchcraft. So, whether you're a seasoned seeker or simply woo curious, I'm so delighted you've decided to join me on this journey. Let's make magic. Hey Woo Crew, welcome back to a second episode this week of the Woo Curious podcast. This is part 4 of the 4-part mini episodes where I am sharing my story with you. Once again, the audio you're going to hear today is taken from a live I did on Instagram, so the quality is not as high as I might like. However, I hope you will enjoy. I hope there's something here for you that you'll resonate. And as always, if you have anything you want to share, anything you want to ask, please don't hesitate to reach out, send me a message on Instagram at I am Eileen March, or shoot me an email, eileen@myluminouslife. All right, enjoy. Before we drop into my story today, I want to make sure that I share with you about my upcoming free 5-day event. So once again, I am running Shine, a guided journey to step into your authenticity. It's running from June 16th to June 20th, every day at noon Mountain Standard Time, live, and as always, will be recorded because life. This is my second time running Shine, and I want to speak to the fact that, when we hear the word authenticity thrown around a lot lately, and so often we feel like, yeah, great, that's all fine and well to show up as my authentic self, be my authentic self. But for so many of us, knowing who our authentic selves are is tricky. Maybe you've looked in the mirror and felt like, you don't quite recognize the woman staring back at you. Not because of aging or stress, although those are very real, but because somewhere along the way you became a collage of roles and expectations. Wife, mother, daughter, caregiver, career woman, good girl. You've worn the masks, you've played the parts, and in the process, maybe you've lost touch a little bit or a lot bit with your you-ness, your truth, your wild, and your magic, the woman underneath it all. And if that feels even a little bit true for you, I would love to invite you to join me on this journey. Every day, we're going to be dropping into a little bit of teaching and learning, and then into guided visualization, which is, I'm just going to toot my own horn and say, my expertise. It's a soul-nourishing space to gently take off those masks, reconnect with the truth of who you are beneath the people-pleasing, beneath the perfectionism, beneath that external pressure. It's not about fixing yourself, it's about remembering yourself. Because when women begin to truly live from their authenticity, when we get to shine our light to the outside world, we give others permission to do the same. And that is world-changing. If you're feeling the pull, the link to sign up will be below in the show notes, or you can always reach out to me on Instagram at I am Eileen March to grab the link to join. Hope to see you there. Hello. I am going live one last time. This is part 4, telling my story, sharing my story. I talked about where I was, the challenging place that I was in, trapped in a marriage that was not healthy for either of us, really. Trapped in a place where I felt like my own happiness was secondary to the happiness of the man that I was married to. And I shared a little bit about that turning point, that decision to finally choose myself and leave that marriage and open myself up to curiosity about the world, the magic, the more that I was really feeling like there must be when I was stuck and trapped in that marriage. And then I shared about the commitment that I made to myself when I committed to a 9-month coaching program, a year-long wild medicine energy healers training program, and the commitment then to start my business, to leave my career as a midwife and go all in, 2 feet into this new career path, no holds barred. And today I'm going to share, and it's probably going to be my shortest of these videos, but that transformation piece and where I am today. And I have notes because I really want to make sure that I say this in a way that feels true and isn't just rambly. And of course, the transformation, the journey, it's not over. It's never over. And that being true, from that heartburn-ridden, trapped woman staring out her kitchen window, feeling like there absolutely had to be something more to this life, with that voice screaming, there's got to be something more, to the person that I am today, it's huge. Back then, I hardly knew myself. I didn't see my own patterns. I didn't know my own limiting beliefs. I didn't know or didn't understand that my self-sacrificing didn't make me a better person or a good woman. It just made me hurt and exhausted and literally burning up from the inside. And through this whole story, through this whole process, the challenge, the turning point, the commitment to now, I've gotten to know myself. I don't know if I could say connected with myself. I'm not sure I was ever truly connected with who I am. I was able to discover a connection to my intuition that I'm sure I had when I was a little girl, because we all are born with that deep connection to our intuition, and our culture beats it out of us, really. It is not regarded as a valid way of knowing in our culture. The rational mind, the intellect, is very much placed on a pedestal above the felt sense, the embodied knowing. Though, of course, we're seeing that begin to shift with more and more research and evidence coming up around somatic conditioning or somatic healing and the importance of it. But I've been silencing that intuition for years. That intuition eventually became the heartburn. I was like, well, she's not listening to the whispers. Let's scream at her. I learned how to listen to my body. I learned how to trust her. I learned how to rest and take time for myself without feeling guilty about it. Most of the time, I am still a product of capitalism and the patriarchy. I still have deeply ingrained and embodied parts of me that tie my worth to my productivity. So as I said, the transformation is ongoing, but today versus where I was back then, that deep awareness and the constant work to embody not falling into that place has been, it's night and day. I can't even describe it. I call myself a recovering people pleaser because I am still working on it, but the kindness and clarity of my boundaries today compared to back then, and the way that I'm able to lead my life, walk through life with the guiding principles of harmlessness and compassion. I am such a softer person today than I ever was. You can ask any of my friends and family. They will tell you. I still have strong opinions, and I'm so much less judgmental. And I love being able to share all of the wisdom, all of the learnings, all the understandings that I've gained with the women who trust me on their journeys today. And of course, the biggest transformation is probably being able to see the world through eyes that see the magic everywhere, the wonder, the awe, the beauty,
the more than human world and our deep interconnectedness with it. I was so close to anything that wasn't explainable by cold, hard, rational, factual science. And today, I still love science. And I also love that I can hear the whispers of my more than human kin. And they don't come in human language because, of course, they're not human. And yet, that magic is there, that energy is there, it is felt. My body understands it, even if my mind doesn't. And so that's probably one of the most beautiful and powerful transformations that I've experienced over the course of my journey. If any of my story is resonating with you, if any of the parts has tugged at your heart, or if there's anything coming up that you want to share, I would be so delighted for you to pop into my DMs, send me a voice note, send me a message. And of course, please consider joining for Shine. It is a guided journey to step into your authenticity because so many of us have lost that connection with who we are under the masks we wear, under all of the roles that society has told us that we are supposed to be taking on. A lot of us walk through life not really knowing who our authentic self is. That word gets thrown around a lot, especially lately. It's a buzzword for sure. But who is your authentic self? Like, be your authentic self doesn't help if you don't know who she is, what she desires and dreams for underneath all the things that you've been told you should desire and dream for. So if you are curious to connect more deeply with your authentic self, it's a free 5-day journey. It runs from June 16th to June 20th. It's live, but of course there will be recordings and there are prizes as well for everybody who participates, whether you're able to come live, whether you confirm that you've watched the replays. There'll be some juicy, sweet discounts for any of my programs that you might be interested in. So this concludes part 4 of my story. Come on into my DMs, let me know how it resonated for you, and I'll see you around.